The game of Fortnite is constantly changing. Every season, there's a new loot pool with different guns and items. This can honestly be very fun and exciting, but it can be very annoying as well. You have to be able to quickly adapt and learn new strategies. Also, things that worked in the past may or may not work anymore. Luckily, there are some things that don't change, for the most part anyway. What's up everyone, my name is Lethal, and in this video, I'm going to give you 5 underrated tips to help you improve your game in Fortnite. By the way, if you'd like to support me, please consider using code lethal_Heir in the Fortnite item shop. Starting off with number 1, movement. The way you move in Fortnite can either make or break a good game. With mantling, sliding, and tactical sprinting, there are so many ways that you can move, and the better movement you have, the harder it's going to be for an enemy to shoot you. So here are some movement tips that will give you the best possible advantage you can have. Don't stand still. One of the worst mistakes you can make is to stand completely still for too long. Snipers do at least 250 headshot damage, so it's easy to get knocked or completely eliminated, even in zero builds. Simply don't stand still for any long period of time. When you're out in the open, don't do it. When you're shooting an enemy, still don't do it. Something as simple as moving left to right randomly will make it that much harder for you to get sniped, so keep your character moving at all times. Try to imagine that you're always being aimed at. This might seem like a paranoid habit, but it will help you to realize when you're putting yourself in danger. Use slide canceling or slide jumping. When moving from place to place, you're still a target. Slide canceling and slide jumping make it a lot less likely that you'll take damage. To slide cancel, simply run and hold crouch to slide, then press crouch again to cancel your slide. To slide jump, jump while running and hold crouch midair, and you'll slide as soon as you touch the ground. You can do repeated slide jumps by jumping while sliding. You can also slide jump in any direction like sideways, which is what I like to do when I want to look to the side but keep moving. And when you're gliding, using a launcher, or landing after using a shockwave, you can hold crouch right before you hit the ground and slide for quite a distance. Number 2, positioning. In Fortnite, because of the third-person camera angle, and also because your gun is on the right side of your character, it's important to make sure that you have a right-hand peek advantage whenever possible. When done correctly, a right-hand peek lets you shoot from behind cover while your enemy can't shoot you back. To use this, you'll want to stand behind cover with open space to the right side of your character. It should look something like this. If you stand behind cover with open space to the left, you won't be able to see or shoot what's on the other side without exposing your entire body. So try to avoid running around the left side of cover whenever you can. Next up, you'll want to abuse high ground anytime you have the chance. It's no secret that high ground is generally a good thing. Anytime you have the opportunity to be above your enemies, definitely take it. For example, it's a great idea to set up on a mountain or hill that's in circle, and especially the balloons and floating buildings that are currently in the game. Doing this will make your enemies have to work so much harder to get to you. This is especially true in zero builds. There isn't as much cover available, so a lot of times you will catch your enemies running out in the open. Take advantage of this and get some free tags. Number 3, use the environment. There are so many things in the game that can do damage to players. From falling trees and runaway boulders, to gas station pumps, gas cans, Firefly jars, and those big red fuel tanks. Whenever you're in the right situation, you can use all of these to your advantage. A lot of times, players aren't paying attention to what's right next to them. They might be focusing on shooting, healing, or looting, and then bam, smacked by a falling tree or a boulder. This is an example of poor situational awareness, and sometimes it's just bad luck. Whenever you're in a fight, be careful not to stand next to trees that can fall or boulders that can roll and hit you. The least you can do is, if you're going to be in the area for a little while, knock them down so that an enemy can't make them roll or fall on you. Believe it or not, even animals in the game can knock you with a boulder or a tree, so watch yourself. Also, in a fight, don't set up shop next to gas pumps or fuel tanks. This is just asking for trouble. What you're going to want to do instead is to always be on the lookout for things you can use to damage the enemy. If you see somebody standing too close to a breakable tree, go ahead and shoot the tree to punish them. Or if they're at the top of the hill and there's a boulder, shoot the boulder and watch it roll and smack them. An added benefit of knocking a tree or boulder next to someone in build mode is that they can't build next to it. Number 4, loadout. There are a lot of options when it comes to picking a good loadout. One must-have setting you need to use is the preferred weapon slot feature. This setting will automatically sort your inventory so that you don't have to. It's most useful when you're first landing, and if you use it, you won't have to get stuck in your inventory moving things around to the right slots. Next, let's break down the basics of a good loadout. The most important weapons in my opinion are going to be shotgun and AR. This combination will allow you to do well in close quarters, but also have some range when starting out a fight. From there, you can either add an SMG for even better close range or a sniper / DMR for better long range. So either shotgun, SMG AR, or shotgun AR sniper. I like to lean a little more towards shotgun AR sniper. This is where things get interesting. Some players like to run just shotgun SMG. This is a loadout geared more toward aggressive players who like to push a lot and close the distance between their enemies. But with this loadout, you have to have mobility items like shockwaves to be able to safely close the distance without taking too much damage. It's basically useless at medium to long range. Another loadout you may want to avoid is shotgun and DMR only. It's actually personal preference, but this combo can get a little bit awkward between close and medium range. Also, I can't forget to mention explosives. Explosives are vital for doing lots of damage very quickly. A solid loadout with explosives might look like shotgun, AR, RPG, and shockwaves. With this loadout, there's a specific move you need to be good at. To do this, you basically launch yourself over and above your enemies with shockwaves and shoot the RPG at the enemy while you're still in the air. Be careful not to hit yourself though. Now the goo gun is slightly different. It's good for preventing enemies from healing or reviving, and it can easily break down structures, but it's just as useful when used correctly. If you just feel like being toxic, you can actually carry both an RPG and a goo gun. I do this sometimes when I'm not carrying a sniper or DMR. Since I brought up shockwaves, they're a pretty good item to have. You can use them, like I said, to close the distance between you and the enemy that you're fighting, and to pull off that RPG move I mentioned. But you can obviously also use them to get away if you've taken too much damage and you need time to heal. So it's a pretty versatile item. Next, you should always carry at least one heal slot, 2 slots at the most. It's really a bad habit to depend on your teammates or enemies to have healing items, so carry your own. And if you can, try to carry heals that you can use quickly like minis and chug splashes. Other slower heals like medkits, shield kegs, bandages, and even half shields should only be carried if you don't have any better options. Although half shields are perfect for getting up to full shield whenever you also have minis. But for the most part, if you ever need to heal during a fight, slower heals will almost definitely get you killed. Finally, you should use the hold to swap pickup setting. Hold to swap will allow you to trade out an item in your inventory and drop the one you're swapping it out for. This is especially useful when you have empty slots and you just want to trade out a weapon instead of holding both items. Number 5. Don't tilt. Probably the most important tip in this list is to avoid getting stressed out or angry. Sometimes things happen that are out of your control and it can be extremely frustrating. But the moment you tilt is when everything will start to go downhill. The best thing you can do while gaming is to stay calm and focused. Keeping a level head will help you to make better decisions and to think more clearly. Here's some simple advice that will help you to keep a good mood during your matches. Take a break. Take small breaks here and there if you need to. Playing while frustrated can seriously affect your in-game performance. If you're angry, you might start getting too aggressive and make reckless choices that will in turn make you play worse and worse. Sometimes the best thing for you is some time away from the game. This will give your mind a reset and will allow you to come back with a fresh mentality. Maybe try watching YouTube or Netflix for a little while and then hopping back on when you've calmed down a little. You can even just listen to your favorite music to get you back in a good mood. Practice. So one thing you can do that will also lower your frustration is to actually practice the game you're playing. Crazy, right? Practice might just be the most boring thing you can imagine. But think about it. The reason why you're getting angry in the first place is probably because you aren't doing very well. In that specific scenario, practice equals problem solved. Now in my previous video, I talk a little bit about practicing aim training courses and editing maps, but the kind of practice you do doesn't necessarily have to be full-on aim training or building and editing. If you prefer to still play with friends, there are so many creative maps that you can actually have fun playing. They also can serve as sort of a warm-up routine. Overall, try to focus mainly on your movement and positioning in games. The more you move, the harder you are to hit. And use the environment to your advantage. Pick a loadout that fits your playstyle and use the guns you like the most. Lastly, stay calm. At the end of the day, it is a game. Try to have fun. So that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video or if it helped you, leave a thumbs up. Also, if you have any ideas for future videos, please comment them down below. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.